cutting it a little close, Lieutenant? Majdanek? Partisans? Murder? This is what you want to send?
Yes, the people need to hear this.
They need your words to inspire them, not fill them with despair. Don't you see how dangerous this is to the war effort?
What is dangerous is pretending none of it happened.
Those words will not leave this room.
You cannot hide the truth forever.
You are not thinking straight. A change of perspective will do you good. Report to Colonel Saitov and the 8 Guards.
You're assigning me to a penal battalion? This is a death sentence.
Go tell their story, Lieutenant. While you still can.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sir Cypher here. Let's play Company of Heroes. Mission 12. Poznan Citadel. So I'm a little sniffly. So if I'm too sniffly, you won't hear this because I won't upload it. But anyway, we gotta capture some fortress city here. Pew 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 pew.
Sir, we are in position outside the walls of Poznan.
Let's do it. It's a bridge.
Comrades, the rest of the Red Army is moving on to the Oder River and Germany. We have the privilege of clearing the fascist vermin from the city, but they have burrowed deep. We have to breach the outer redoubts, and then fight our way through the city and onto the fortress. However, we cannot risk bringing armor into range until we've eliminated the anti-tank weapons on the walls. We will have some air support providing reconnaissance while we punch through the wall. We'll then exploit the breach with armor and infantry. Once we're inside the outer defenses, we will push through the city, securing the outposts in the square and at the town hall. Then, finally, we will corner the rats at the citadel.
All right, let's roll. Da, da, da. Oopsies. Let's get some more mortars. Let's get some conscripts here.
What do you want? SU-76 here! It will be done! Launch light artillery barrage!
It's my sniper. Okay. Let's roll.
Mortar team has arrived.
Let's get some mortars. So we're kind of competing with this other group, but we're sort of not. We have allies over here. As you can see, there's this big city wall with all these fortifications.
The bridge is out!
We must find another way through.
Sir, some of the forward troops have spotted some places where the wall looks to be in bad condition.
Bring in the ISU-152 from reserves. Something that heavy may be able to topple the wall and roll through.
So basically at this point, things were obviously looking pretty bad for
Another infantry squad.
The Germans. And basically Adolf Hitler, or rather, you know, the I think it might have actually been specifically Hitler, but the German High Command designated certain cities as like fortress cities, and they were like, okay, people in these cities are just gonna fight to the last person.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
Are basically they just gotta fight to the last person, right? And did they kill my sniper? Oh, what's my sniper like that? Help out, sniper. So basically they were like, okay, you know, what we'll do is we'll fortify some of these cities, and then we'll have everybody essentially resist to like the last man. And how we'll get out of this war is we'll basically repeat what happened to Germany in the First World War, whereas, like, you know, they won't necessarily win, but they'll just be taking so many casualties that they'll essentially give up.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
Like, you know, essentially Germany gave up in the First World War. But I think they very much underestimated how angry how angry the Soviets were, and how determined them and the Western Allies were as well. So I don't think that was ever really had a chance of happening.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
So let's capture this. Although we might have to fight our way in here.
Take out their defenses from behind and capture some territory. We need a beachhead. Conscripts
up
can now
here.
attack tanks with AT grenades.
So we're sort of in a competition, so I think we actually want to capture our side first. Uh-oh. Let me get a T-76 as well.
More of our troops have been
So yeah, Germany designated certain cities as like fortress cities, and they're like, everybody has to resist to the last person. But the Soviets were just like, all right, well then we'll just kill everybody. And it did work a little bit that they did like delay their plans to move into the main areas of Germany, but it didn't really delay them by that much. So yeah, I mean the thought was like, oh, it'll be like a medieval castle, right? The whole kind of point of medieval fortifications is, you know, if you bypass them, then they can, you know, send out raids and stuff to attack you in the back. But I guess the problem is that you need a lot more types of supplies to support a modern army. Oh my god, what is this stupid Su-76 doing? How hard is it to get in here? Jeez, what a bunch of losers. Okay. So, I mean, there's no real chance of making counterattacks and stuff in modern mechanized warfare from a city behind enemy lines, because it's like you won't have gasoline, you won't have munitions. But anyway, what Hitler wanted, Hitler got. So they did this. Okay, so we've got this first section.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
Oop. So basically, you just want to keep you want to keep sending troops forward, and you kind of want to use conscripts as almost like scouts. Of just keep like sending them forward, and they'll see stuff, and then you can and then you can shoot that stuff that they see. So just like just keep sending people forward, although not the engineers. I want these guys. maybe not these guys.
It's possible that one of these command buildings we're targeting is where they're holding a number of prisoners of war.
How many men are we talking about?
We're not entirely sure, sir, but reports suggest it could be 20 or 30 soldiers.
Troops, your orders are now to capture those buildings. If you can, get inside and look for our comrades.
So we have to capture here
General Kolpakshi, did you hear
and
that?
here.
We may
And
have POWs in one of those command
if you look up this battle, the Battle of Poznad, and I'm probably pronouncing the city name wrong,
General Chukov.
but if you look up the picture or the battle on Wikipedia, you can see the town hall, and it actually looks just like this. So they modeled a special building just for this mission, which I think is, you know, that's kind of cool. They took some time, they took some effort to do it correctly. Okay. So we're just gonna keep pushing forward. Now, one thing that's sort of interesting is, well, this game doesn't have really like bases and stuff you can destroy to take out enemy troops. It kind of has something similar in that you can, since all troops come on the map from outside the map, and those represented by those little X's are reinforcement points. If you cut off the enemy's access to reinforcement points, then they can't bring more troops onto the map. So, okay, someone's just shouting for no reason. We'll get another SU-76. Did they blow up my SU-76? Those bastards. Okay. More conscripts, more conscripts.
Retreat under penalty of death.
So instead of taking this point over here, I'm actually gonna attack here to cut off their
Enemy forces capturing
supplies. Okay. Let's go, let's go.
T-34 ready.
Oh, what?
We have more conscripts at our disposal. Supply lines have been cut. We have more
those
conscripts at our
jerk-offs.
disposal.
Stand your ground for the Rodina.
Moving, within three. Stop fucking around.
So yeah, this was an actual battle. It is interesting reading the difference in accounts between the Western Front and the Eastern Front,
Squads have arrived to fight.
because like German units on the Eastern Front would sort of, not necessarily routinely, but it wasn't like uncommon
Conscripts at our disposal.
for them to fight to the death, whereas that was basically that was very rare on the Western Front, and became increasingly, I think, more rare as time went on, because you know, they weren't really afraid, I don't think, by and large, of Western forces. Like, you know, if you got captured by like, you know, advancing British forces, it wasn't like a death sentence, you know. Whereas obviously things were a lot more dicey if you got caught by
Step back, comrades.
if you got caught by a you know, like a Soviet division. One side was a lot angrier than the other. So
Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
so like on the Eastern Front, you know, I think it was like there's on the Western Front, like in France, there's a certain amount of like, okay, you know, we fought, you know, nobody can argue that we didn't do our part. You know, we didn't win, it's time to surrender. But on the,
Retreat under penalty of death.
and you'd go to cozy American prison camp, but like if you surrender on the Eastern Front, you're going to a Soviet prison camp. and they're gonna basically be trying to repay you for all of the, all of the atrocities that the Germans and the Wehrmacht and the Nazis and the SS and the Einsatzgruppen and all that those people did to them. And it wasn't very, it wasn't a very good place to be.
The enemy has killed another infantry squad.
So I guess I have to kill these tigers.
Have arrived to fight.
Ground for the Rodina.
Tango on the move.
Okay.
T-34 ready. T-34 on the move.
Okay. So kill this guy here.
More of our troops have been lost. Move to that position. Shit! Tiger! Frontoviki squads have arrived to fight.
Not one step back, comrades.
Enemy armor destroyed. We can do this all day. On combat patrol.
Okay.
Moving out. We have Frontoviki squads at our disposal. Yes. T-34 reporting. Frontoviki squads have arrived to fight.
Retreat under penalty
Frickin'
of
tiger
death.
tanks,
Taking indirect fire.
So we'll take this zone. Dude, for some reason we're back to T-34-76s, which I just think would be. I don't know. I was under the impression that they're fairly uncommon at this point in the war. I don't think there were that many of these
Frontoviki conscripts ready
still
for
around.
deployment.
I mean, there must have been some, but
Riflemen ready. Ignore the holes in your boots.
maybe there were a bunch. Okay.
There's
So,
another howitzer somewhere in this city, and it's shelling the hell out of us.
Orders. It sounds like it's coming from the citadel to the north. Keep your
so there's like a
focus on
castle
capturing
to
the
the
two
north,
outposts,
which we're gonna
men.
have to
We'll
clear.
get to the citadel later.
So now we took that point, which means another closer reinforcement point.
Army at your service. Patrolling.
Okay, now let's take this citadel.
There will be no excuse for failure. Mortar crew ready. Mortar team is seeking target.
Okay.
Medium armor on the move.
Let's move in here.
Ready for action. Frontoviki squads have arrived to fight.
Stand your ground for the Rodina.
Yeah, I should get another. Do I want to get another SU-85? The SU-11. Oh, maybe. I'll just get another T-76. Nah, I'll get another SU-125. Or SU-152. Let's go, let's go.
We have
Oh, shoot.
Frontoviki squads at our disposal.
No, 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 don't take out the... Oh, no.
We have the square, sir. Good work. Now start rallying the troops to take on the second square. Tree has been killed. Death before
Oh.
retreat.
Oopsies. Okay, I think we gotta take the second one then. I wasn't supposed to blow that up. Oopsie poopsies. I made a little oopsies there.
Combat patrol, go! We will seek the
I think my mortars got a little too eager there.
Frontoviki squads.
So this square is harder to take because there's like 50,000
One
tigers
step
there.
back, comrades.
Okay, how are these guys spawning here? They don't have a spawn point here anymore.
From battle at once.
These cheating.
General Zhukov, I have been instructed to leave this in your hands.
Those cheating jerks.
We are losing supplies to the enemy. It was no match for us,
So at this point, our AI friends retreat.
Ready for deployment. Frontoviki squads have arrived to fight.
Retreat under penalty of death.
Alright, maybe I should just get rid of the SU-76 and get another T-34. Okay, let's keep moving here.
We have Frontoviki squads at our disposal. One more down!
That's for IC-156. Okay. Capture the bunch of losers. I've actually, when I say, you know, like looking at, I mean in the laziest way possible, because I've just been looking at like YouTube videos and stuff. But the question of like why were soldiers in the Wehrmacht or the like why were they still fighting at this point? You know what I mean? Like why would you? Because it's pretty clear that you've lost, right? There's no like real like sane person who's like, oh, you know, at this point who's like actually would think that you're still gonna win this one, right? I think most people thought, you know, like it's over. So
Penal battalion squads have arrived.
and basically there's three options that I've sort of basically been told, like if you were conscripted in you know, in the last days of the war in Germany. So like one is you just go along with it.
Comrades, we are progressing too slowly. We must push harder to capture Poznan, and soon. We will not
calm
be given
down.
infinite resources to accomplish this. Resources are required elsewhere.
Yeah, calm down. So we get penal battalions, and actually penal battalions, they come with flamethrowers automatically in this mission, which is pretty legit.
The enemy has destroyed one of our...
Retreat under penalty of death.
I want another SU-152. But yeah, basically, as we just keep advancing here, it's basically kind of like a couple options, right? There's one is you don't, like you, one is you surrender, right? Like to the first enemy unit you come across. The problem with that is then you're gonna go into a prison camp. Specifically, you're gonna go to a German prison camp, and you're probably gonna have a really bad time. Or not a German prison camp, a Russian prison camp. And if they don't, they'll either just shoot you right on the spot when you try and surrender, or you're gonna live out the war in, again, like a
We now have access to penal squads. Use those cowards well.
in a Russian prison camp where, like, you know, you get starved to death. The other thing is you desert, right? Or you try not to, you know, you don't go. But then there's a fairly decent chance that you'll just be shot by your own side.
Soviet command has given us an ultimatum. Accomplish the mission by the following deadline or face losing supplies, men, and equipment. We got another one!
Oh, what? What's the deadline? Uh-oh. We actually have to do this now? Oh, man. You know, I was playing this before. I never realized there was a deadline.
Supply sector under attack.
Rip.
Penal squads are now available to die for the motherland. Strafbat needs orders.
Not one step
How
back,
annoying.
comrades.
So yeah, you either run away and maybe get shot, you surrender, go to a Soviet prison camp, or you fight and like maybe you'll win, you know? Like, or maybe you'll at least live another day because you're not gonna get shot immediately. You know, maybe, you know, you'll survive a couple battles. So, you know, in a strange sort of way, the smartest thing to do might have been to keep fighting.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Oh my god. Okay.
Both squares have been secured, sir.
Excellent work.
Penal squads are now available to die for the motherland.
T-34 under enemy fire.
I guess you only have to rescue one of them
Troops are standing by.
for it to count for the mission objective.
Sir, we have found our comrades.
Then equip them and get them ready to fight. They have sat on the sidelines too long. Now it is their time to honor their country.
Like, I don't know what I would do if I got like drafted into the like Wehrmacht in
Now it's time to take
1940,
objective, the Citadel
1945.
That is where all of the remaining German forces will be. One more push, brothers.
Oop. Was it just saving, or are we gonna get a...
Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Oh, we still have a deadline? Scheiße.
Strafbat needs orders.
When I played this before, I didn't have a deadline. That's unfortunate.
We have lost our mortar team.
Take that territory. Capture it.
Do...
T-34 ready for action.
Comrade. T-34 ready for action.
Get that flamethrower moving.
Penal squads are now available to die
Alright,
for
I
the
guess we're just
motherland.
gonna steamroll in here.
Mortar team reports ready for combat.
Guns loaded. We are moving. We are moving.
Come on, IS-52, we need you here.
Do you need some? Mortar squad is looking for targets.
Penal troops are standing
So
by.
Not one
let's get the
step
Sturmovik.
back, comrades.
Coming in
That
hot.
should help out.
That flamethrower is needed elsewhere.
ISU seeking top.
Mortar team has arrived.
Let's roll.
Heavy assault gun confirmed.
What do you need? We're taking small arms forward.
T-34 ready.
Heavy tanks.
We now have access to penal squads. Use those cowards well. Strafbat needs orders. Mortar team
Retreat under penalty of death.
Wipe that enemy armor up. T-34 moving out. Go, go, go! Yes!
We're into the courtyard.
Squads are now available to die for the motherland.
Advance.
Stand your ground for the Rodina. Flamethrower squad.
Advance.
T-34.
We await your command. Get this thing in gear.
T-34 here.
Seek and destroy. Now! Shooting anything that moves. Taking fire from enemy armor. Aerial reconnaissance standing by. We now have access to penal squads. Use those cowards well.
Not one step back, comrades.
Okay, once I kill these Tiger tanks, it should be easier. I don't get it. Why do you keep driving? Whatever. absolute just madness.
Penal squads are now available to die for the motherland. Penal troops are standing by.
Okay, why are you cowards just sitting here? Advance. Advance for the glory of the Soviet Union. Oh man.
We now have access to penal squads. Use those now as well. 152 here. Engine is coming. We need ISU 152. We are done.
No.
We have lost one of our armored vehicles. Strafbat needs... Airstrike has been authorized. Stand your ground for the Rodina. Good bastards.
Oh. Advance. Okay, so maybe another C-152. Okay, that's gone. Advance.
Penal squads are now available to die for the motherland. Penal troops are standing by. Not one step back, comrades.
The fact that the European squads just come with flamethrowers for free is pretty helpful. What are these guys even shooting at?
This is Generalmajor Matern. We surrender.
So, actually, this is a real place too, by the way. This fort. If you look it up, there's still remnants in Poland.
Congratulations. They were ready to pull you out of Poznan, but you proved that it was possible to get the job done.
So I felt like...
We have the fortress. Poznan is ours.
like how many people are still shooting at them. No surrender. So sorry if that was a little disjointed. I'm a little bit under the weather, but as you can see, just use the standard strategy of constantly spawning conscripts, having waves of mortars between them, behind them, and then when you get to the parts where there's a bunch of enemy tanks, bring up 152s, and once you kill the tanks, then the mortars and conscripts will kill everything else. Well, anyway, thank you for watching. Sorry for sniffles, and have a nice day.